Every time lately, man, hit that thing, cough like crazy at the beginning. Oh, that one made my ears ring a bit. Welcome to Thoughts Off the Stem. I'm Justin Barone, your friendly neighborhood pothead. I tried to do this once. It only recorded for 5 seconds, and then I started talking and didn't even notice. So now the gummies that I was gonna eat on the show are already in me, but I guess we'll talk about them anyway. So the Spinach Feels THC CBG Pineapple Starfruit Gummies are the gummies that I just ate. I'd already gone on this big long tangent about what they are and what they look like and how delicious they are. And now I got to start it all over again. Maybe that's a good thing. Maybe it's good that you don't have to hear me chomping through the actual gummy. But basically, they are 5 milligrams of THC a piece. There's 2 gummies in each package. You get a total of 10 milligrams. In the bong today, we're smoking some, I think, homegrown Blue Dream. And just to add a little oomph to it with the sativa, because Blue Dream is a hybrid, 50-50, I added in some Cuban Links Shatter from Nugs. I like Cuban Links Shatter because it's very citrusy, tastes delicious, and the high is pretty solid. The first time I smoked it in the student glass, I may or may not have greened out. But this time I'm fine. We're okay. So what I was saying about the CBG in a gummy. Now, the giggly feeling that you get, that sort of like perma smile, that giggle, the social side of weed smoking, a lot of it comes from CBG. People think sativa, and yep, it's in sativas, obviously, because it's an uplifting social strain, I would say, or cannabinoid, I would say. Alone, CBG isn't psychoactive. It's like CBD or CBN or CBC, THC. Nope, THC. That bong hit just hit me, and I think those gummies are kicking in. Not THC, but CBD and those cannabinoids that are not psychoactive, they can add to the experience of the high. So CBG, being like CBD, it's an anti-inflammatory. It also helps with pain, but it helps with pain because it's a very uplifting. It's a very uplifting cannabinoid. So the overall feeling is like you get this euphoric jump of happiness. It's like a full supply that just comes out of nowhere. Like when I used to sell it at the pot shop, okay, the way I would sell it is people would come in and they'd be like, I want that giggly, happy feeling. I'd be like, do you want to feel like you are the greatest thing on the planet for no fucking reason? That's what I would say, literally. And they'd be like, yes. And you give them that and like 20 milligrams and you're off to the races. Like right now, I've smoked a bong hit and I've eaten 20 milligrams of the feels. I feel a perma smile coming on, okay? I've probably had this in my system now for like, we've been recording here for 4 minutes. I probably had like 4 or 5 minutes before that. I'm drinking water. But yeah, within 20 minutes of taking it, you feel it. It's a very like, not lasers coming out of your fingers or like energy, but you have a surge of energy that makes you feel your fingertips. Like you could race a car. Don't race a car, but you could race a car. You know what I'm saying? That's how you feel. That's the kind of vibe you get from CBG. Like I said, it makes you feel real fucking good about being you for no fucking reason. I know I'm trying not to swear, but that's how I explain it. It's the only way to explain it. And I think because of that, it also helps with weight loss. Like, it says that it helps with weight loss. This is what I'm saying. The terp profile or the profile of that cannabinoid, these are the attributes to CBG. It can support weight loss. It actually helps promote healthy skin. That's what a 2022 study showed. I'm on, what is it? naturalwayscbd.com. Yeah, naturalwayscbd.com. And they've done a write-up on the benefits of CBG. It offers support for anxiety. I could see that. You know why? Because it makes you feel real good about being you for no fucking reason. It's what it is. Like it shouldn't be called CBG. It should be whatever the initials of that sentence are. You know, it says that it helps promote stomach and GI health. I could kind of attest to that today. So yesterday, I was trying to do a different podcast, and I added um, tequila to the amount of weed that I smoked. It was a bad scene, and my stomach's been upset ever since. But after eating those 4 CBG gummies, I've noticed that my stomach has gotten less like, it's less throwy uppy. So I can probably say that it does do that. Apparently, it can also provide focus for ADHD, or support for ADHD, help focus and energy. Definitely helps energy. Like I said, feels like you got balls of energy fighting to your fingertips. I gave my mom 2.5 milligrams. Like, she had a bite of one of my gummies when I was out visiting her a couple years ago or a year ago. And her and I were giggling like idiots, okay, within 20 minutes. That's why I love it, because you can maintain it. So, like, you can eat 100 milligrams of THC and CBD. I mean, I've had 100 milligrams of these. Like I said, 10 milligram packets, and I ate 10, okay, on the way to, again, a summer fair to get high. And the level of joy was with these ones, you could, like, it fully just maintained. It was the exact, you stayed at the exact level of happiness and excitement that you wanted to be at for the whole event. You know what I'm saying? And that was at 100. And at 20 milligrams, I find the same. The one benefit to that I found to it is that even though that you're up and you're ready and you're excited to see people and do stuff, it also has, like, it doesn't have a crash, but at the end of it, once the effects of the THC wear off, it lends its hand to also a comfortable transition to sleep. So, like, you could munch on these things all day and maintain that perfect level of curiosity and excitement and happiness and then just go to bed like nothing, like, perfectly. Like, maybe it should be called the kid gummy, because that's what it feels like. It feels like you have kid energy, kid excitement, and you can maintain whatever it is that you're doing. Like, if you're driving heavy equipment or some shit like that, I wouldn't say that you should be eating these. Okay? I'm not saying get high and do that. But what I am saying is that if you like to be an active stoner, like, let's say you like to go for a walk out in the woods or hike, right? Then CBG is probably a good way to go for you, because it just makes the colors a little bit more brighter. It shifts the shades to, like, a more entertaining tone. Yeah, it's very much an outdoor, inviting, activity having cannabinoid. So if you're looking for that and you don't want to be locked into the couch, those are a good one to go for. Because even though it helps you, how does it, okay, hold on. Okay, I just found something out here while I'm reading this little article on the side. But so Natural Ways CBD said that CBG can help weight loss, right? But then it also said, oh, it can boost appetite. And I do find that when I have CBG, even though generally when I have CBG, I'm eating CBG gummies or it's an edible that I have it in, right? I do find that I want to snack. So how does it help you lose weight? Because, like, I don't think it helps me lose weight. And it doesn't really say. you know? I guess if you have issues with appetite, then this is probably, something that you should have or could have. That would be good. But this is what the CBG high is like, dude. It's a cap to whatever high you're already experiencing. So if you're new to trying weed and you don't want to end up like the stereotypical stoner that people tell you a stoner is. What? You're new to weed, and you don't want to end up like the stereotypical stoner that you've heard of. I did it, guys. So if you don't want to end up like that, like the dude that's like, let's just like put on some TV or a movie and like eat some popcorn and veg. If you don't want to be that guy, if you want to be like, yo, bro, let's get hiking and surfing and all two kinds of really cool shit, you know? You want to be that guy, CBG. Purple Kush for the other dude and CBG for the surfing dude. Why was I saying that? There had to have been a reason. Oh, so, God damn it. So maybe when you need the boost, the appetite boost. Why am I going back to that? I don't even know. You know what? I'm high. I blinked. My high eye blinked. And now I forgot what I was talking about. So we're just going to move on. Okay? So this is what CBG does. It makes everything exciting. Like, even though that was a pretty gnarly fuck up right there, you know, it's funny. Like, it's laughable to me. Part of the show. So appetites. Moving on from appetites. CBG can promote eye health. Well, with my glasses off, I could barely see the camera. With my glasses on, I can slightly see the camera. So, no. I mean, it probably does, but I'm saying for me, doesn't seem to. My eyes are getting tighter, you know. CBG can calm nausea. Again, like I said, you know, kind of put myself in a bad way yesterday. Woke up with a little bit of questionable tum-tums. And after eating those gummies, I seem to be quite all right. It's actually quite enjoyable now. And then they give you a benefit chart, and then the side effects and safety considerations. So the possible side effects of CBG include dry mouth, sleepiness, increased appetite, dry eyes, digestive upset, nausea, diarrhea. Isn't that a commercial thing? Dizziness and headache. I don't get headaches from it. I'll tell you what I do get from CBG and why I recommend CBG. Because I find that in small dosages, CBG is really good at maintaining a more positive attitude, maintaining a more positive outlook, and a more, excuse me, a more curious investment in life around you. And I find that on my time off or when I'm alone, sometimes I get stuck in that rut of like just being bored. You know what I'm saying? And I find that, and being bored, but like to the point where you don't fix the boredom. Like, I didn't go out and do stuff. You just like turn on the TV and lay there like, I'm so bored, and just complain about it, you know? But I find with when I have CBG, that boredom doesn't really hit. And then when you do experience boredom, you could take those and it motivates you to actually go do something else. Yeah, that's why I like CBG. And I kid you not, it really does make you feel real good about you. Like right now, I don't want to sound pompous or anything, but I feel like I'm a pretty awesome dude. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think I'm better than anybody. I'm just saying, I feel like I'm a pretty awesome dude. I feel great about it. I feel great about being me. That's what I'm trying to say. So if you're looking for a gummy or, because you can also, it's not just in gummies. They put them in the drinks. They put it in the drinks. I find, though, that the drinks are like hit and miss. Like, they can upset your stomach, man. There's something about weed and pop that just doesn't seem to go that well together. You know what I'm saying? Every time, you can only have so many. Like, I can have 6 beers and be okay with having 6 beers. I can have like 6 tequilas and be okay with having 6 tequilas. I can't have like 6 weed drinks and my stomach not be like, oh, dude, you know? But I find with gummies, I'm generally okay. I haven't really met a gummy that upsets my stomach. Drinks for sure. But either way, CBG in a joint, CBG in a gummy, CBG in a, you know, anything is good. Like, it's good if it's in a topical too. Like, if you use weed creams and stuff for your arms, or like for pain points, CBG is good for that too, because it does help with the pain. I use one and it works like within 20 minutes. CBG is a good. It's a yeah. I just keep saying the same thing over and over again. So what you should do is you should look out for the spinach, feels, pineapple, star fruit, THC, and CBG gummies, because I find those ones are just super nice, and they're like tasty. You know, they're a little sour, they're a little tasty. THCV is kind of like that too. Like THCV, you can get those in the what is it? The Shredums. Oh crap! Now I forget what they are. They're like my favorite ones. It's the orange pack, I think, or pink. Pink pack. Yeah, those Shredum ones are pretty damn good. Those have THCV, which is similar to CBG. That's why I say that. So THCV and CBG together would be awesome, because they're both like uplifting, giddy, giggly, the interactive highs. Those would be really nice. Yeah, those would be really good together. Yep. Sometimes this happens too, but I think that's more from the Blue Dream that I smoked in the bong. Because I find, like, I don't know if you've had Blue Dream. If you haven't had Blue Dream, it's actually a really good strain to like start with if you're trying to get into smoking weed, or you want to, because it's a balanced high. So you're not going too far into the head and you're not going too far into the body. And you're still motivated, but you can relax. And then when it starts to wear off, you're a little tired after, but you basically kind of just like finish off at base level again. You know, it's a really good strain for an introduction into weed if you're new to it and you're trying to, see whether or not you like weed. And then Cuban Links is like, it's a good sativa. If you know what you like and you tried weed and you're good with it, that's a good one too. It's a really good intro. It's good because it's tasty. It's high enough that it gets you high. Like, a lot of people like Jean Guy, but Jean Guy, it gets you high for like 12 minutes. And then you're just back to normal again. So to me, I like to be a couple hours high, at least, Like, ideally 2.5 hours is good for me. And I would have to go through like an ounce of Jean Guy a day. Maybe that's why there were so many, because I would say Jean Guy was probably one of the like more frequently purchased products, and it was purchased like every day by some people. And you would think that you would take a bud tender's suggestion at some point and be like, what can I try that doesn't have me coming in here every day? People would never. Nope, they stick to that shit. 12 minutes. I tried Jean Guy. I tried Jean Guy in flour. Okay. And I tried Jean Guy in batter, I think it was. And that's supposed to be quite a bit like stronger. So the flour, I was high for 12 minutes. Like, there was probably some residual effects, but the intensity of the high, 12 minutes, and then it died off. Okay. And then same thing with the batter or whatever it was that I had, like the wax maybe. Um, you'd be high for like 30 minutes and then it would die off. Yeah. It was like a pauper addict. You just had to keep doing it. So it was a good thing I had other stuff, because I guess because it dies off so quick, that might be a good introduction too, but you got to move on from Jean Guy, man. I don't know. It's not one of my favorites. And it doesn't have CBG. It's got to have CBG. Dude, if you're looking for like a happy time, a good time, giggly time, nonsense, and just hanging out with the boys, or, hanging at home with your girl or whoever, your significant other, CBG is a good way to go. It gets you guys kind of active and conversive. You get conversatively, interactively wound up. You know? That's what I'm saying. I like that. And then generally with CBG, if you smoke anything else or you have anything else, the CBG level excitement and feel good stays there. And then the other, whatever it is you ate or ingested or smoked, whatever that high is, inserts itself with the CBG, and then you get the best of both worlds. Where, let's say you have CBG and a sativa, and then you're like, oh, I feel great. But then it's later in the day, and you want to have like a CBG, and you still want to be happy, but you want to relax now because it's like after dinner or whatever. Then you could have like Purple Kush, and then Purple Kush with the CBG, be like, yeah, but you'd slowly, very easily fade into sleep. Dude, that's the setup right there. I'm just saying. If you want a really good, feel good, help you feel better about being you, or like, I'm not saying that it could cure depression, but I definitely think that it could help you with depression. Because there's like a little voice that comes with CBG that's like, you're the best. It just sits there in the back of your head going, you're the best. You're the best. Look at yourself. You're the best. You're amazing, Mr. Man. That's right. And it would be different for you, but like, that's what mine does. It just tells me I'm great. It's a good time. Yep. So try out some CBG if you're looking for that. Add it to whatever you're making. It's a good like potluck. If you have a party, throw some in there. Everybody will have a great time. Big perma smiles and nothing but giggles. That's what I'm saying. Those are my thoughts off the stem for this week. Hope you enjoyed the sesh. I hope you enjoy CBG when you get to try it out. You know what I'm saying? I hope you come back next week with me, Justin Barone, on Thoughts Off the Stem on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, Podchaser, everywhere you get a podcast. It's out there. It's out there, baby. That's right. Check out tots420.com. Don't forget to subscribe because, like, I'm fun. No? You want a sesh? I want a sesh. Let's sesh together and just hang out. That's why. Share it with your friends. Yeah. Whoever needs a laugh, or if you enjoyed this or whatever, yeah, share it around, man. Just do what you can to give love. Okay, I'm too high for this. Anyway, until next time, keep your lids low, baby.